From Tally to Cali.
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by
Vitamin Energy.
The vitamins.
The energy.
Now here's Warchant.com's Azan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! It's Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy. Coming up on today's show, final thoughts before Alabama and Florida State square off on Saturday. We have Charlie Potter from BamaOnline giving us his thoughts on how the game might play out, and we lay out our over-unders for Week 1 of the 2025 season. Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com, promo code warchantbogo, warchant, B-O-G-O, buy one, get one free. And just between all of us, if you buy like 5, you'll get 5 free. It basically just doubles your order. So whatever you buy, you'll get the same amount back on top of it for free. Give it a try. Noles behind this operation. It's clinically tested, clinically proven to enhance your focus, to improve your mood, to give you that instant energy that you need right at the drop of a hat. Shake it and take it. Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com. Again, Warchant BOGO, Warchant B-O-G-O. Buy one, get one free. Get warchant.com for $1 your first week. As a bonus, your membership includes a complimentary year of The Athletic, and I think we still have some gift codes left to give out. So $25 gift codes to Garnet and Gold when you join warchant.com for the first time for $1 a week. So get involved with that. I think if you're a current member, Corey, and you upgrade to the premium ad-free experience over on warchant.com, we're also giving out $25 gift codes to Garnet and Gold. So Corey Clark's columns, Irix Schoffel's columns, Matt Lasser's recruiting insight, uninterrupted. No ads, just clean scrolling through there. So do that. Corey Clark, how are you, my friend? We're game day eve as everybody's listening to this. We'll see everybody live at the Corner Pocket at 5 p.m. Our live show will be going on 5:30 from the Corner Pocket on Friday. But how are you, man? Looking forward to this weekend, man. I really am.
I'm good, buddy. How was the giveaway at the student union?
Dude, it was awesome. It is weird though going to staying or moving back to where your alma mater is. It'd be like you living in Athens and covering the dogs and just like. I have not been inside of the Woodward. It used to be the Florida State bookstore. I don't know where the bookstore is anymore, but Woodward has a garage at it. And I used to park in there every day for my classes as like a 19-year-old kid driving in there. And then on Thursday, I'm driving in there for the first time in 20-something years to park in the same garage I parked in that many years ago, like listening to pretty much the same music.
Right.
It just, I don't know, it was really...
Wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, it was very surreal. But, as much grief as I give the football program at times, like I love my alma mater. Like I love the university, and to see the way the student union looks now is just so like awestruck. It's beautiful, but it was great. We did a vendor Thursday in the union. Gene and Matt were there in the morning. Ira and I came in the afternoon shift. We're not going to talk about who got more people to sign up, but
right.
Ira and I did a lot better.
Nice.
But it was awesome, man. We met so many people. And the crazy thing is, I was telling Ira, we get a little too high off our own supply, I think, where it's like, we're warchant.com. If you're listening to this, you obviously have heard about us. And I think that nobody does college sports for another team as good as we do it. But a lot of people are like walking by and they're like looking at us curiously, like, well, what do you guys do? And it's like, my elevator pitch to them, Corey, was like, we're ESPN, but we just cover Florida State sports nonstop all the time. Like stories, shows, podcasts, everything. And they're like, oh, that's really cool. And it's like, yeah, and it's absolutely free. If you're a student, you just email support at Warchant. So we met so many cool people. I met a Dax, a Cohen, a Gus, Matt's fraternity brother, Ashley, a Tariq. It was so cool because a lot of people too, Corey, Alicia, we met her as well. So many people came up and they're like, my dad's been reading your stuff, like going to Ira, like my dad's been reading your stuff forever. I've been watching you guys since I was a kid. It was awesome, man. It was really good. Hopefully we'll see you out there next time we do this.
Yeah, man, I would love to be there. I was raising my hand to try to do it, but you guys elbowed me out of the way. So next time, I promise I'll be out there.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to have Charlie Potter on from BamaOnline. He's a senior writer. I don't want to say he's the Corey Clark of BamaOnline because that's just too big of shoes, everybody. Too big of shoes. nobody can duplicate what Corey does for you folks and for us over at warchant.com. But he's a senior writer over at BamaOnline. He gives us his final thoughts about the Alabama-Florida State matchup. And as we sit here and record this on a Thursday, Corey, in all full transparency, I guess, I don't know, is any kind of like final arguments, thoughts that are kind of rattling in your head thinking about this game, maybe even more optimistic than you had been in previous days, weeks, months?
No, but I kind of want to piggyback on a column I wrote that's on the site now as people are listening to this that I hope resonates. I hope people can feel this and embrace this sentiment, and really this reality is because of what happened last year, because your first game is Alabama, it feels like such a daunting game, and it feels like you're less than. And maybe, I mean, look, man, if there's maybe Ohio State, maybe Oklahoma. There's like 2 or 3 programs in the country that you could say have accomplished what Florida State has accomplished since college football mattered. Integration, let's say. So, man, I get it. Like, this is a big boy that's coming to your stadium. This is a Goliath. But as I say in the column, this is not David versus Goliath, man. It's Goliath versus Goliath. Florida State is a football juggernaut. And I lead the column talking about Darrell Jackson. When you asked him about the stage and getting to prove to the rest of the country that Florida State isn't what they were last year. Florida State can hang. Well, I don't remember how you said it, but something along those lines, like you could prove something.
The opportunity to show everybody how much better you guys really are.
Yeah, and to prove something. And he's like, I'm going to keep it real. We're Florida State, as in, yeah, man, we're supposed to be good. Last year was last year. I get it. We talked a lot about it. We had to. I know it was incessant, but we had nothing else to talk about for 9 months other than last year and the disappointment. But this is a new year and a new team, and it's a program that all you folks have grown up cheering for and know can be awesome and has been great in your lifetimes multiple times. And as I point out, like South Carolina is a David, man. Mississippi State is a David. Texas A&M, those are the Davids of the world, UCLA's. Florida State ain't that. So don't go into this season or in this program or into this game even feeling like less than, like, oh, God. It's like, man, you're Florida State. And maybe you get beat on Saturday. Maybe you get beat badly, but you will be back. You might be back this year. You might be pretty darn good this year. But you know you will be back at some point because you're Florida State. The Florida States, the Alabamas, the Oklahomas, the Texases, they don't go away forever. Blue Bloods are Blue Bloods for a reason. And because of what Robert Kleckler Bowden did starting in 1976, he made sure that Florida State is a blue blood in this sport. And so, like, have your chest out, man. Be excited about this game. Revel in this game. And revel in the fact that you get to cheer for a college football program that has won 9 national championships, Aslan.
That's right.
Not 3, 9. We just added 6 last week, baby.
Come prying from my cold, dead hands.
Right. We got 9. I did joke with Bill at the corner pocket. I want to get him another because we bought – well, we did. Me and Stephanie bought him a Florida State banner that had the 3 national championships that's right by the door when you walk in. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to buy you another one that has all 9 with just tiny little asterisks by them where you can't even – yeah, Stephanie actually bought it. She just reminded me, not me. But, hey, we were married, right? Yeah, so I feel like it was a couple's purchase. It was a team purchase. But yeah, with little asterisks by like 1987 and 1989, like, just Billingsley report voted them national champs. But yeah, that's kind of my message. It's like this should be fun. And you know that you are lucky. Like there's been a defeatist kind of attitude, and again, I've helped create that narrative because of what we've talked about and written about for 9 months about Florida State. But gosh darn it, man, you're Florida State. We're not talking about Rice or Utah State. You're Florida effing State. You had a horrible season. The year before that, you went undefeated. That ain't that long ago. That's not ancient history. So I just hope people go into that game like feeling and come into the city today feeling proud of what school you get to cheer for, feeling lucky that you get to be a Florida State fan and you've experienced so much success in your lives as a college football fan.
Hell yeah, Corey Clark.
That's the end of the show. I'm done. Good luck, everyone.
A wall. I'm going to run into it.
Right. Yeah. You're running to it, but not through it.
I'll run through it. I'm going to run through it. I'm going to run through it for you. Also, I buried the lead kind of. When we were in the student union, another cool thing, Corey, was I actually saw student athletes. I saw football players We saw
right.
It was funny. We saw Gavin Sawchuk. I'm like, hey, do you like Florida State sports? Because like when people would look at us and kind of like eye us, I'm like, do you like Florida State sports? And then they'd come over and I'd give them the spiel. But yeah, Gavin Sawchuk came by and spoke to us for a minute. We didn't ask him about the game. I did ask him about Chroma, but then he walked away. He thought it was kind of rude, I think. We saw Jaden Jones zipping through the Union on a scooter, which was crazy. There's all this humanity. And we saw Elijah Herring, who he was walking with like a piece of art. And I was like, what is that? And I'm looking at it. It was a framed poster. It was a framed Green Day Dookie album cover poster.
What?
From Elijah Herring. How about that?
Well, he just became my favorite player.
Yeah, hopefully it wasn't a surprise gift for somebody. Hopefully it was for
you just
himself.
blew it. Yeah,
he
you blew it for some family members coming into town for the game, and it's a birthday present. And you just blew it. But even if it is, the fact that he went somewhere and got it.
Yeah.
I
didn't think I'll be honest. I thought if you're a transfer, I don't know, I give it, 9 to 10 odds that you're going to be just virtual learning. Like you're going to be online all the time. But, Sawchuk, Herring, Jane Jones has been here a minute. So it's like, oh man, they're part of the fabric of the community. So that was kind of cool to see. With the good vibes going, let's get to some of these questions that we got left over from the Renegade Express mailbag. We'll do a few, then we'll speak to Charlie, and then we'll also unroll out the first edition of the over-unders. We'll be giving out either, I think, $20 gift codes to Garnet and Gold to the winner. So get involved, stay engaged. Our guy Jamaica Noel just giving compliments to us, which is awesome. He wanted to give Corey his flowers. This guy's made a major comeback with his transformation, which makes me realize if Corey can do it, Mike can make a comeback of his own. And he's got a photo that he made of you with cornrows. Remember, he's got the cornrow you. So he's got a photo of you, I guess, at after the 2017 game with the cornrows, and he's got one of you in the last stand-up with the cornrows. But anyways.
Oh, okay. Nice.
His question is, who is your MVP prediction for our Noles in a win this weekend? P.S. Corey laughing at a coach touching his hat when he touches his glasses in every game wrap 100 times is peak irony.
I know. Trust me, I know. I think I at least mentioned that, right? When I was making fun of the hat touching, that I know that I do that nonstop. It's crazy. I would say, though, in my defense, I've only been wearing glasses for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming a football coach has been wearing baseball hats his whole life. You'd think he'd be used to it by now. But anyway, you're right. You're right. I don't know why I do it. It's weird. It's like a little nervous tick. I'm not nervous, but it's a tick I have when I'm on camera. MVP, okay, let's say it can't be Tommy.
Okay.
How about that? Let's make it where it can't be Tommy, because that's to me that's the obvious answer. If he plays really well, they absolutely have a chance. How about, I'm going to say Deuce.
Okay.
What if Deuce has like 4 for 108 and a couple touchdowns?
That would be, that's a win. That's a win.
Yeah. Probably, right? I mean, it's certainly, a couple touchdowns. That helps. Maybe Jackson or James Williams too. But yeah, I just think let's hope you got something real out there. And I know he's a real football player, and he's a real college football player that can go a starter at this level that can go make plays. But something real is in he's an NFL dude. Like, get yourself an NFL guy out wide. Those are fun to throw to. And hopefully and Squirrel and all of them are, but yeah, maybe Danzy. I'm gonna say Deuce.
I'll go Jerry Wilson, I guess. Interception, turnover battle. Okay. Although I was thinking maybe Darrell Jackson gets a paw on a ball and then it gets tipped up in the air, and then maybe Elijah Herring makes the pick and he kind of gets the glory. But I'm gonna go Jerry Wilson. I think Jerry Wilson will jump a route or be in phase on a 50-50 ball to Ryan Williams, and it's going to be a Jerry ball, and that will help shift the tide, so to speak. No pun
if Elijah Herring is a legit Green Day fan, I feel like every time he makes a tackle, they got to play, I don't know, When I Come Around.
Welcome to Paradise or something.
Welcome to, there
Long
you go.
View,
something like that.
A little bit more, little jazz too.
What's the one that's like that really slow song that became like a prom song?
Wake me up when November. Was that one, or is there?
No, it's I've had the time of my life.
Oh yeah, I hope you've had the time of your life.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, play that one every time you do. That would be
predictable, and in the end is right. I hope. By the way, another one of my friends is actually in Chicago to watch Oasis. Corey, sorry.
Awesome, man. It's good to know everybody's out there doing that. I hope I'm going to listen to some Oasis after we're done recording this show. Okay.
Upstate South Carolina, Noel, wake up. First ever time trying this, as I don't post much, but I enjoy the show. Welcome.
Oh, well,
welcome.
I hope you bring it right here. I hope no pressure, but you better bring it right here.
I hope you're listening still. I hope you didn't check out after we didn't read your question on the first edition of the mailbag. But anyhow, looking at the depth chart got me thinking. It appears Mike and the new staff made some good evaluations with the freshman class and have done well so far this summer recruiting, which leads me to this question. Do you guys think we are now on the right track to building our program back to perennial top 10 teams with a much healthier mix of portal versus high school recruits each year? What do you think that mix is? 80-20, high school to portal? Let me know. Thanks for your time, and go Noles.
Aslan, while I start this answer, can you look at, is there a way to look up Alabama's like two deep, or their starters, and like count up how many transfers they have? Because they have at least two.
They didn't post a depth chart, but yeah, I can spitball it.
Because they have at least two of their wide receivers are transfers. One of their running backs is a transfer. Isn't Proctor technically a transfer?
Nah, he enrolled. He's from Iowa. He enrolled, and then last year I think he entered the portal and he withdrew. He's never played a single snap for Iowa. So he
did not play at Iowa. I
correct.
thought he did play for a year. Okay,
no.
But I feel like.
And Jeremy Bernard was at Washington. He's their number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
He came with DeBoer. So did Parker Brailsford, who's their center. But Gino Vandemark, who's probably going to fill in for Jaden Roberts being out their guard, he was from Michigan State. He came with the offensive line coach who was at Washington State. Cam Dewberry's probably going to be the other guard. He's from Texas A&M. Their right tackle is an organic guy, grassroots high school recruit, rather. Tight end, I think, is a guy that's been in the program for a long time. Ty Simpson's been in the program for a long time. Their running backs, Richard Young, Daniel Hill, those guys have also been high school players. So, but yeah, their offense has some of that. I think the defense, Damani Jackson, who, Charlie talks about maybe him being a little bit nicked up in the video. He transferred in from SC 2 years ago. I think Cam Calhoun is a kid they got from Utah. That's a safety that might be in the mix. But otherwise, I think the crux and the heart of their LT Overton. I take it back. LT Overton, I think, went to Texas A&M too. So,
okay.
So I don't know.
So
that's 6-7 guys that just rattle off.
Yeah, I was going to say a healthy number of starters are from other schools. I think that's always going to be the reality. But yeah, man, I don't know what percentage it is, and I don't know that. I would guess 75-25 is what you'd like. Maybe 80-20, but I don't know how to quantify that with actual numbers. So 80 guys are homegrown guys, 20 are transfers. I feel like this year it's reverse. As far as who's playing, I feel like it's 20% homegrown guys, 80% transfers. That's too much.
Yeah.
Clearly. You'd like that to at least get closer to 50-50. And, yeah, when you talk about perennial top 10, honestly, it doesn't matter to me. You need to be perennial top 20. Because if you're perennial top 20, then that means you're always challenging for the playoff every year, and they're going to expand it to 16 at some point. So that's all that's the window you're trying to get into. It's just the top 16 teams in the country. I always think it's going to be a little bit harder to recruit at Florida State, the high school ranks, because quite frankly, until you're in another league, there isn't as much. There's not as much attention paid to the ACC. And that is a selling point when you're on the recruiting trail. If it's down to Florida State and even like an Auburn can sell, well, look, you're going to be you're going to be playing against the best guys in the country. All these scouts are going to be at all your games. There's going to be millions more people watching than if you were playing like Wake on a Friday night in Winston-Salem. You're going to be playing Georgia and Athens with the whole country. Like, that's a selling point. And that can be hard to recruit against, no matter how much money you're throwing at them. So it's always going to be hard to just say, hey, recruit like Georgia and Alabama. I do think Florida State should do a little bit more portaling than like the other powers. But when we're talking about this particular team and like, yes, this freshman class looks like it could be something. The class they're putting together seems like people like it too. So that's like back-to-back, you hope pretty good classes. That is the recipe to get back to a perennial top 20 team, top 15-ish team, which is all you need to be. Perennial top 5, if you're not winning championships, who cares? You have just as much if you're the number 13 team in the country, you get a chance just like the number 5 team in the country to go win a national championship. So my biggest fear when it comes to this is if they don't have a good season this year. And you do have to hit the reset button and completely start over. Yeah. That just pushes everything back a couple of years. And that is not to say don't do it. Like at some point you might just have to rip the Band-Aid off. I get that. And if it looks gross again this year, which I do not expect it to, but if it does, you might just have to rip the Band-Aid off and start over. But if you can have yourself a nice season and put this recruiting class together in bed, put it on paper, and then go get you a few more portal guys and build on this, then, yeah, I think that is the recipe. I think that's the recipe to every year bring in 10 or 11 guys. You don't have to hit on all of them. Hit on half of them. That can actually play. Yeah. And then go from there. And it feels like, Aslan, I think I brought this up a couple shows ago, Norvell absolutely meant to say the word evaluate when he was talking about the new staff. When he was talking about the freshmen that are going to play, he's like, it just shows we did a really good job of evaluating. Well, it's different coaches doing the evaluating. Yeah. So maybe they're better at it than the guys he had before. That could be a thing too. It all falls on the feet of Norvell. He's the one that signs off on every offer they make and every kid they sign. Yep. But it might be nice to have somebody like a Tony White or a Terrence Knighton or a Gus Malzahn or Herb Hand who's looking at somebody that's 18 years old. They've been doing it all for, especially Malzahn and Hand, forever, and be like, no, he can't play for us. That's a waste of a scholarship. Don't do it, Mike. Yep. He cannot play for us. I know what I'm talking about. And also, I don't care that we can get this kid. Like, we can go get this kid. Like, that stuff, too. Like, I don't care what his ranking is, although it'd be nice to get a few 5 stars. I think that is absolutely the recipe to become a much more consistent than they've been, right? Yeah. Like, it's the San Andreas fault here every other year. Yeah. It'd be nice to find some solid footing. You're going to do that with better high school recruiting.
I lied. Their tight end also came from Washington. And they got a bunch of other transfers at tight end.
The Portal King. Yeah, Kalen DeBoer, the Portal King.
And then Isaiah Horton from Miami. Not to defend him, but I'm going to defend him, I guess. Nick Saban retired, and then, there was an 100%. Exodus, so he had to.
He lost the likes of Sean Murphy and T.J. Ferguson and Malik Benson.
Caleb
He had
Downs.
to go replenish. Yeah, he had to go replace the cupboard. But yeah, so that absolutely, he had to go do what he had to do because and that also, not only did Saban retire, I feel like he retired in like January, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah.
That thing was scrambled together in the middle of January. So absolutely, they had to go hit the portal hard. I don't think that's how they're going to continue to do things. I don't think that's how they'd want to do it. But they have a healthy number. That's what you want. You want to be in a place where you got to go get, I don't know, man, 6 starters instead of 17. Yeah. Go get yourself 5 or 6 really good ones, and just keep developing the 17 that are coming back.
Yeah, and preferably not 4 offensive linemen or 3/4 of your defensive front. One here, one there.
Yeah, man, that's the ultimate indictment is they had to go sign 4 starting offensive linemen in the offseason. It's awesome that you can go do it now in 2025. Don't take that for granted. That's really cool that you can go get legitimate college starters in 2025 from other schools. But, yeah, that is an indictment that there was nobody that they had recruited over the last 3 years that was ready to start for this program.
Tallahassee, we are the first stop on the Can't Miss Kickoff Tour presented by Modelo. Home Field Apparel coming to town tonight. They're going to be at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill along with us for a Warchant live event at the CP 2475 Appalachia Parkway, 5 to 9 p.m. Wear your Home Field Apparel or bring a receipt from the last 30 days of purchase from Garnet and Gold and get a free Modelo draft for the first 200 fans. There's going to be a wing bar, if you will, like buffet-style chicken wings. Help yourself for as long as those last. And being out on campus, Corey, like a lot of these students that we spoke to, they're not going to be able to go to the game because it was a really, really tough ticket for the students to get. So there'll be a raffle. 2 tickets to the Alabama-Florida State game up for grabs. Come on out to the Corner Pocket. We'll be there. I'll be there a little bit before 5 o'clock, but the festivities start at 5. We will be doing a live show, Corey and myself, at 5:30. If you won't be able to be there, it will be broadcast on YouTube, but you want to be there live in the flesh.
So not 6. We're doing 5:30.
5:30 to 6. Yeah.
Okay. I think it said something different in the graphic. Yeah. Either way, get there at 5. Plan to stay for a little bit, an hour, hour and a half. You'll get to see Aslan and I get the crowd fired up. Yeah. And maybe, hopefully, we get to read the raffle winner, right?
No,
it's
going to be
part of our show.
It's going to be, it'll be on the show, but we're not going to actually do the delivery. It'll be our guy Jack DeLongchamps.
Oh, no, I mean, but it'll be on the show is
Correct.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, good,
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
stick around at least for that.
yeah. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Come on out and enjoy. Welcome back into Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy. VitaminEnergy.com, promo code WarchantBogo. Buy one, get one free. We always have a senior writer on the show. We got Corey Clark, everybody. But we got the senior writer from BamaOnline joining us now, Charlie Potter, joining us from Alabama. He'll be coming down to the game, obviously, as the Tide roll into town this weekend. Charlie, we talked earlier in the summer and kind of exchanged some notes. Obviously, a lot has changed, right? A quarterback has laid down the gauntlet. There's been some injuries. Let's start there, I guess, with Tim Keenan. Just how surprising of an injury was that? And behind him, is it heralded high school talent, or is it proven production that will kind of step in and fill in those shoes for Keenan?
Yeah, it happened on Tuesday. Alabama practices in the morning, and I heard some rumblings about it. But it kind of seemed like it was differing opinions and just the severity. And again, he's not going to miss a ton of time, but he's not going to play on Saturday. That's the big news, and it's a big blow because Tim's not only a team captain, he's a productive, just kind of space eater in the middle of that defensive line, and they don't really have another one of those. I think he and James Smith, they were expecting big things for them as a tandem this fall, and now they're going to rely on some younger guys, and they're guys that have been, kind of prepped up and spoken highly of all off season long, but they're guys that don't have a lot of experience. I'm fascinated to see what they do. They have a bunch of candidates to maybe step in. I think Edric Hill and Jeremiah Beeman going into their third and second years respectively are probably your leading candidates, but they brought in some younger guys. They brought in a guy like Kelby Collins from Florida. He's played mostly on the interior. Maybe we hear a little bit more about him, but it's a big blow to start the season because I think Tim was poised to have a really big year.
Yeah, and staying on that side of the ball, Charlie, you have two. Alabama has two really good players, including the linebacker Lawson, that are coming off pretty significant injuries. What have you heard about their recovery? I know everybody says they're 100%. Even when they're not 100%, they're never ever going to say, like, I don't feel great out there, but I'm going to give it a go. But how close are they, have you heard or do you know, to what their ceiling is?
It's funny because, like, with Deontay, he came up on Tuesday, and I think somebody actually asked him, are you 100%? And he didn't answer. He didn't want to put a percentage on it. So the good news with Deontay
Good for Deontay, by the way. Good for him.
He's a seasoned player. He's got to that point where he just kind of speaks his mind, which is a good spot to be. But the good news for Deontay is he hasn't been practicing in that knee brace. And, he suffered the injury in kind of mid to late November at Oklahoma. So it's not even, it's barely double-digit months of that. So he's been moving around well. Kane Womack's been talking about how he's gotten in better shape. And not that he was in bad shape, but he looks like his 2023 self. And that's, I think, the most encouraging thing. I'm really fascinated to see what he looks like on the field, because he is coming off of an ACL injury, but I don't think he's been that limited here of late. I think he's ready to go. And you mentioned some other guys like Keon Sabb missed the second half of the season, the back end. I think he's been able to practice. The one that maybe is the most interesting is maybe a Damani Jackson, who didn't miss any time last year, but he missed all the spring. That's why we've heard a lot about Dijon Lee, is maybe he's taking a little bit longer to get close to 100%. But I think it also says a lot that they really like this true freshman at corner too.
What do you, when it comes to this offense, we exchanged some questions this week for our On3 sites, BamaOnline, warchant.com. Check it all out, everyone. How do you envision it going for Ty Simpson?
I think that's the $1 million question.
Right?
I think we're all fascinated to see what he looks like out there in his first start. He's been saying all the right things. He seems pretty cool, calm, and collected. I know that's been something he's really worked on. He sought advice from some. It seems like everybody. He's even talked to Nick Saban just about what he should do, how he should feel, things like that. But I think one thing is he's had a little bit of a swagger to him this offseason. I think he knows this is the time that you have to step up. If not now, then probably never, at least at Alabama. And he's a guy that he's been super consistent. I think the biggest takeaway is he hasn't turned the ball over this preseason. And that's going against a secondary that was really good at turning the ball over last year. So it's been, from an outside perspective, it's been everything you've wanted from a quarterback battle, because he exited the spring as kind of the leader. He didn't do anything in the summer to relinquish that. And then they actually announced the starter a week earlier than they wanted to. They were going to wait till after the second scrimmage to do it, and they did it after the first. So I think that he's been, again, super consistent. And I don't really know what we'll expect from him, because I think losing Jam Miller kind of hurts, because you could lean on that experienced running back and that running game a little bit more, because now you're going to have some guys that are a little less proven. But I think they were still going to let it rip with Ty. I think that was something they were looking forward to.
Would you be more surprised, Charlie, if he kind of struggles and maybe doesn't even hit 200 yards throwing, or would you be more surprised if he eclipses 300 yards passing against Florida State?
I think with the Jam Miller injury, I'd be surprised if he's not over 200. I mean, look, it's hard to replicate what Michael Penix and those receivers did at Washington. They led the country in passing both years that Kalen DeBoer was up in Seattle. But with the weapons he has at receiver, with Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard coming back, with Isaiah Horton coming in from Miami, they have some other guys that they feel really good about stepping up behind them and kind of creating a really solid rotation. I think that they're going to throw the ball quite a bit. I think that they want to get the tight ends involved too. I think they get the backs involved out of the backfield. So, there's not going to be as many quarterback design runs. I don't think that's breaking news at this point, because Jalen Milrow's not around as much. Ty can still do some of those things, but they want him to pass first. And I think it's a situation where if he's under 200 yards, I think that would probably either the running game went wild, or it was a bad day for the offense.
Did he never even get a thought last year to replace Milrow? Was that ever even? I'm sure DeBoer was asked about it at times, probably specifically after the Oklahoma game. Yeah. But did it never? It never came to be, and why?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year, it feels like I'm probably being careful around this answer, but it's because they were careful about it all year long. It's just you're trying to keep that team together. Like it's a patchwork team at that point, because after Nick Saban retired, you have your leaders around, and Jalen's coming back as a returning starter. And look, he can do some really good things. Like the way he played against LSU, if you could bottle that up, Alabama doesn't lose a football game. Like it's that easy, because the games at Oklahoma and Michigan in the bowl game, those were Jalen's worst performances. Yeah. And he was asked about it. I know after the bowl game, I think we had to ask a couple times, like outright, like, did you consider making a change at quarterback? Because Kalen DeBoer kind of tiptoed around the answer. But not really. It was kind of Jalen's team. Like the leaders like him and Tyler Booker, Malachi Moore really held this team together. And I think the coaching staff realized that. And again, like Jalen had his moments. Like his first month of the season, I thought he might get an invitation to New York. Then October ends, and you see that vanish pretty quickly. So I think it's not really an indictment on Ty Simpson. It's more so maybe loyalty to Jalen Milrow and those leaders from last year's team.
What do you see the backfield working out to being, Charlie? I know Richard Young is a guy that I think Florida State was on recruiting out of Southwest Florida, and then Daniel Hill's just seems like kind of like a unicorn almost, at least in terms of his stature. I think 6'1", 240 is what he's listed as. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be a hot hand, or has one of those guys emerged ever since Jam Miller had been ruled out?
Yeah, I mean, like I think the coaches have been really kind of mum on that, and they've kind of made it a point to say they're waiting for somebody to separate themselves in terms of like who's going to be out there first. I would lean toward Richard Young just because he's been in the program the longest. He seemed kind of poised to be that running back 2 behind Jam to start the season. Daniel Hill, though, is someone that they've really spoken highly about since spring ball. He's a guy, like you said, like he's a big back. He's kind of a bruiser. But the thing that people have been mentioning here of late, kind of over and over again, almost like by design, is how good of a receiver he's been, which is not something you expect from a back that big. I think Dre Washington from Louisiana transfer this offseason. Now that looks like a really smart decision, because a lot of people are maybe scratching their head of why did they bring in this running back from Louisiana. But I think an experienced back can help them this first part of the season, or just however long that Jam Miller's out. And they got some young guys, I think, that could maybe sniff some carries, maybe Kevin Riley, who's going into his second year. But I think it probably starts with Richard Young. It's probably Richard or Daniel. Like I wouldn't be surprised if, like, say the first series, that scripted series is a successful one, and we see both of them maybe split the carries up there. It's kind of TBD on what to expect from the running backs, but I think that now is maybe one of the top storylines when it wasn't going to be going into the season with Jam.
This might be a hard question to answer just from a perspective standpoint, but what do you think this Alabama team and coaching staff, what sense do you get of what they think about this Florida State team? And the reason I ask that is because it's so different than last year. Like it's an entire starting new 11, and it's Gus on one side, it's Tony White as the DC. It's a completely different outfit than 2 and 10.
This is just me talking to begin with. I probably think it's pretty annoying because you have to watch so much more film from like different stops and guys that transferred in. But yeah, it's hard to get a read. Like they keep talking about how much new there is, and I don't think that's news to anybody, especially down there in Tallahassee. They know how different this offense can be or will be. It's just I think that there's familiarity with some different elements. Obviously, you have Kane Womack's experience with Gus Malzahn. They kind of coached or went against each other in high school. He was his offensive coordinator at Arkansas. Alabama fans know a lot about Gus Malzahn with his days at Auburn. They know a good bit about Roydell and Earl Little, but then beyond that, you just kind of have to go on past seasons and kind of see what that patchwork kind of looks like. So it is a situation where every time that they talk about them, it's just about the new. I'm sure they're prepared, and like I said, I'm sure they've had to watch more film than usual just because everybody was scattered across the country before kind of reuniting or joining forces down in Tallahassee. But I think there's respect there. It's not like there's nothing from a negative standpoint.
I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like, how do you even talk about a team where you don't know, you haven't seen any of it? It's kind of hard for us. It's been hard for us for the last 8 months.
It hasn't been much from an Alabama side of things. Like, I mean, obviously, they like to talk about, or they like to get asked about. Let's say that they like to get asked about the trash talk from Tommy. But other than that, like, it's just maybe the offensive line gets asked about or something like that. It's you can tell people on the beat have been struggling a little bit just from figuring out what to ask about Florida State because there is so much new.
But you mentioned him real quick, and we don't have to get into the trash talking. That was a few months ago. But Tommy himself, and we can get into the trash talking. I don't care. What kind of challenge do you think that it presents to any defense, man? Like, look, he's not the best passer in the world. We get it. He's not going to be a first round pick. But he is a unique guy back there with his legs. Mm-hmm. What kind of challenge does that present? What kind of challenge do they talk about just trying to contain him in that aspect? Yeah,
I mean, like, that's been mentioned way more than the trash talk, if I'm being honest. Like, it's been asked to Kane Womack. It's been asked to every defensive player. And, I think they gained some semblance of confidence because they had to go against Jalen Milroe a lot last year.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, the losses at Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, plays were made by mobile quarterbacks that aren't quite as mobile as Tommy is. So it's a situation where it's definitely at the forefront of the defense's mind. It's a situation where they know they have to be better against a mobile quarterback because one point of emphasis for this team is just to be better pass rushing. Like last year, they just didn't have enough sacks. They were able to apply pressure, get in the backfield, but they weren't able to finish. But, that's all well and good if you can get back there. But now you have to kind of get back there and play contained too. So I think it's going to be – that's – to me, if they're able to contain the quarterback in this game, it could probably be a long day for Florida State. But that's going to be easier said than done because he's a slippery dude in the backfield.
You mentioned last year, Charlie, like maybe having to stick with Jalen Milroe just because of all the turnover, the tumult from Nick Saban's retirement. They go and hire Kalen DeBoer from Washington. Year 2 at Washington's when they really took off, made it to the national championship game. Just have you seen him change at all? I mean, I can't imagine the amount of stress and pressure he was under last year replacing Saban. And there's all sorts of crazy talk about, if Alabama doesn't have a good season this year, they missed on DeBoer and they got to figure things out. Do you think he hears any of that noise? Does he seem more comfortable here in year 2 and the continuity that he's tried to build?
Well, first of all, I think it says a lot about Alabama and just the juggernaut it's been the last almost 20 years that 9-4 is just a completely disappointing and just unacceptable season. It's crazy. And they were in it for the playoff discussion until SMU kind of crapped the bed there in the ACC championship game. So it's a situation where you can tell there's a difference. I think that this off season has been very different. I want to say the gloves are off kind of a little bit. And that started with David Ballou, their strength coach. I think it was a couple of days after the bowl game. Like there was a line drawn in the sand. And I think it says a lot that these guys that nobody left during the spring transfer portal window. Most of the fat was kind of trimmed off before the bowl game because there were hard conversations had and made. And I think that Kalen DeBoer, while he's still not going to be Nick Saban in terms of that fiery guy, in the facility and stuff like that. He also brought in Ryan Grubb, who kind of provides that yin and yang kind of situation for himself. So it is different. I do expect them to be better in year two because you look at you mentioned the Washington jump that they made. They did the same thing at Sioux Falls, which I know it's not Division I football by any stretch, but Fresno State, they made a big jump. So I expect them to get to double-digit wins. But I think the refreshing thing is that while they've said some things, they're more so like, look, we know we got to show it. It's not a situation where they are doing a lot of talking and patting themselves in the back. It's like, look, we realize that they need to be better, and that's what they're looking to do. And they're not really maybe talking about it as much. They're waiting to prove it.
Are you coming to the game?
I'll be there. Yeah.
When do you get into town?
Tomorrow afternoonish.
And how are those hotel rates?
Oh yeah, they were ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. Apologize. I apologize to everyone in Alabama that's coming to this game. It is absolutely unbelievable.
I'm usually on top of it, like when the schedule release comes out, like when the SEC does that. I guess during this season for next year. About getting on that. I didn't do as good of a job. But it's been that way everywhere. Like Athens for when Alabama rolls into Georgia, good luck.
Oh yeah. I don't know how you go stay at a campsite.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what you do in Athens.
But it is like I've heard from other beat writers. There's some staying in Dothan, Alabama. There's there are people staying.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
So.
It's a capital city and you can't get a hotel room for like less than $1,000.
Yep.
God bless.
So.
Sorry, I didn't want to end on that note, everyone, but I just wanted to check in on Charlie.
Despite the hotel rates, I'm still looking forward to it.
Oh, good. That's awesome, Charlie. That's good to hear.
Charlie Potter, senior writer for BamaOnline. We're the equivalent of them in the Florida State landscape, or they're the equivalent of us in the Alabama landscape. You can get access to all their stuff over at BamaOnline when you subscribe to warchant.com and the On3 network. Safe travels, Charlie. Thanks for all the help this offseason and for joining us today, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, guys.
Great. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
I will admit, never quite understood the ubiquity and allure of fishing shirts. I mean, I get the need for freedom of movement, but I'm not trying to look like a toddler in their dad's shirt. Well, now there's Poncho Outdoors. Poncho has created performance clothing that gives you the breathable, light fabrics that keep you cool in the hottest conditions, but also with a cut that lets you go from the boat to date night seamlessly. Listen, I live out of a suitcase these days, so I'm a huge fan of being able to pack a shirt that works in any setting, running errands, or like I said, date night. Poncho Outdoors also offers a slim fit option with a tapered cut in addition to a roomier regular fit. Your game day shirt doesn't have to be a t-shirt, and your night out shirt doesn't have to be a button down that you're going to sweat through. Try the performance wear from Poncho Outdoors by going to ponchooutdoors.com/wakeup to save $10 off your first order. That's PONCHO outdoors.com/wakeup for $10 off and free shipping. Go try one out. We are back. It is Wake Up Warchant. It is presented by Vitamin Energy. VitaminEnergy.com, Warchant BOGO, Warchant BOGO. Buy one, get one free. There's a couple duplicates, I guess. Somebody asked us what we thought was the biggest depth chart surprise. Our guy NYC Noles, who's got the Paul Gleason 2 months bender.
Yeah.
Was asking us what we thought was a surprise. I think we touched upon it when the depth chart came out. He says Omar Graham being listed as a starter. I agree. Yeah. And then our guy Billy Flynn was asking what needs to happen this season for you to consider it a successful season. I'll stick with my being the playoff chase in November, Corey. And I do want to add this, and this it might feel like nitpicky, and I'm not being nitpicky, but I think Florida State's going to probably lose a game at some point this season.
Come on.
I wouldn't mind if the head coach didn't comported himself a little bit with more some stoicism. Just like let's not wear our emotions completely on our sleeve and wear the loss as hard as like Mike wears losses. I mean, if I feel that's the moments where I feel bad for him. Then I remember he makes $10 million a year and is driving home in a car that costs probably $100,000. But I don't know, just like, listen, man, wasn't our day today. Kudos to the other team. We're going to get back to the lab. We're going to figure things out. We got to work better. We got to execute. It just, the despondent nature of some of these things. Like, let's lift out of that. That will be successful.
It's a fair point. I don't know. I don't necessarily care about it, but I wonder if that will become more of the norm. Like, think about, when is the last time you saw a NFL head coach in the regular season just outright devastated?
Was Jimbo even that devastated in Pasadena after the loss to Oregon?
He was in Raleigh in 2012.
Yeah.
That was a crusher. In 2010, when my man, Ty Jones knocks the ball out of Ponder's hand when he's about to throw the game-winning touchdown pass. There was some devastation ones. That one, he had just won 29 in a row, and they turned it over 8 times. No, he was actually seemed to be in a pretty decent mood.
Yeah, he was like, hey, man,
yeah.
But
good. No, he was, some of them hurt for sure. But I'm saying, like, overall, like, you don't ever see an NFL head coach, like, in October just devastated.
Yeah, right.
Just wearing it, like, looking like he's just glassy-eyed, like, just
Mike Tomlin's not like, I can't believe we just lost to the Ravens. Like, I can't believe John Harbaugh to be like,
it happens occasionally. I mean, I know there's Jim Mora, playoffs and all that. All that stuff happens, but on the regular, they handle them. And the point I'm bringing up is when it comes to Norvell or all these college coaches, as this becomes more and more like the NFLization of this sport, where one loss does not matter. In fact, Florida State can lose this game by 50 points, and their chances of making the playoff don't really get impacted at all. They still have an absolute path to go win it. They could lose to Virginia and still have an absolute path to go win it. Their season is not over. Much like if the Chiefs lose to the I don't know, who would they lose to? The Texans in September. Andy Reid's not going to be like, oh God, no, guys. What was these? It's part of the sport. You're going to lose. It's college football. You're going to lose, and you still have a chance to get in the playoff. I think I came up, though, to answer the original part of the question. I think I came up with the best barometer for me anyway to describe a successful season.
All right.
To me, it is a successful season at Florida State if there is little to no doubt that Mike Norvell should be coming back in 26.
Okay, that feels like 9 wins.
I think 8 wins gets you there too, but it's also like, yes, correct, but there's not really a number on it. Again, if they show a lot, if they just get killed by injuries and they show a lot of heart and fight and claw their way to a bowl, like there's all these other ways that it could look where you just want your fan base, most of your fan base, not the lunatic fringe on either side. There's people that no matter what he should come back, but that it seems like an obvious choice that he comes back in 2026 and there is no noise in the system about blowing it up and starting over. That to me means that you've had a successful season in some capacity, in the capacity that matters, which means not spending $50 million to go tell a coach not to coach for you.
All right, well said. Our guy, the Omega Man, XDQ004, wake up. I finally caught the thread while open. It's been a while. We haven't heard from our guy Derek in a long
That's right,
while.
Man. Good.
I'm not sure why, but this game is starting to feel a little like LSU 2022 to me. Not sure why, but I would take that result. Hey, listen, shaky kicker, All-American wide receiver, Keyshawn Boutte did not do anything against the Noles, though, but, new quarterback, Jaden Daniels, first start under Brian Kelly, so some of those parallels are there. Question, though, which of these 4 options could lead to 8 or more wins? Option 1, or A, rather. Tommy accounting for 36 touchdowns.
Oh, okay. That's my leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah. B, 3,000 yards rushing as a team.
Okay.
How many yards did we have last year? C.
Less.
Darrell Jackson and James Williams accounting for 20 sacks and 35 TFLs. Or the defense, the team is plus 15 in turnover margin.
Oh, you know what? The last one.
Okay, look at that.
I'm gonna look up something real quick. Aslan, you talk.
I wanted to look it up. Yeah, I mean, I can't. I don't even know what 3,000 yards as a team would look like. I don't know. When's the last time we ran for 3,000?
Was that 250? Was that 250 a game?
I know, but like even with Dalvin running for 1,600, 1,700 yards, did we ever rush for 3,000 in those seasons?
Probably not. Maybe the 2013 team did.
Yeah,
That's a ton of yards. Lee, yeah, man, you're gonna win a ton of games. But I think it's interesting. So let's do.
Well, the tough thing too is you can probably run for literally 800 yards against Kent State. I mean, combined, like, right? You can end up after this stretch of Kent State and East Texas A&M, you could really beat up on them bad. You could end up turning them over 2-3 times, right? And you're +5 in turnover margin in those 2 games. So like if you make most of your bones in those games, and I know that's kind of the way it works with a lot of teams that are playing these softer kind of schedules, Corey, but yeah, I mean, if they're, let's say if they're only +3 in the turnover margin heading into the Miami game and they finish +15, yeah, man, that's 8 or plus wins, because the only way you lose to Pitt and the only way you lose to NC State is if you turn the ball over. So if you protect the ball against those teams, I think you win those games. And those are like the swing games in my mind that get you from 7 to maybe 9, So
I would think if you did a deep dive on teams that have rushed for 3,000 yards and their winning percentage, and teams that had a +15 turnover margin and their winning percentage, it's probably pretty similar.
Yeah,
they're going to win a ton of games, typically. But I just looked up. So last year, James Madison led the country in turnover margin, +20, which is crazy. Memphis was second. I think they had a pretty good year last year. I know they had a good September day in Tallahassee. Indiana was third. They made the playoff, everyone. Clemson was fourth. They made the playoff, everyone. Notre Dame was fifth. Same thing. Arizona State was sixth. So it's a pretty good harbinger of you having a really good season, as if you're really high up there in the turnover margin. By the way, Notre Dame created 33 turnovers last year. I know they played 16 games. Clemson played 14 games. They created 26. I just want to remind everyone, Florida State created 6. And Florida State, I believe, was dead last in turnover margin. I mean, that is a really important stat. And it's not all luck. Like, it's not luck that Clemson and Notre Dame created a lot of turnovers. It's luck. You can have fumble luck, like you just can't recover fumbles for some reason. But confusing quarterbacks, hitting very violently, timing it up well, having good DBs that can make plays on the ball, that is not luck. Go make some plays. So, yeah, I'm looking it up now. Florida State was 131st in the country in turnover margin last year, ahead of Central Michigan and Southern Miss.
Do you know what the raw number was?
Oh, yeah, I can look it up. It was -17. No, I'm sorry. Hey, I take that back. I apologize to the 2024 team. It was -16.
Okay.
They turned it over 22 times and forced 6.
Yuck.
I bet you could look up a bunch of quarterbacks that have had like 36 touchdowns to their names, and you could have more like 500-ish seasons. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they score a lot of points. He does his thing, but they can't get stops, and they lose games. And he maybe gets a few touchdowns late when the game's kind of out of reach, some garbage touchdowns or something. But, like, I don't know that you could find teams that had a +15 turnover margin that ever were anything less than 500. Like, Colorado was high up there, too. Colorado won 8 or 9 games last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That is a key. Get some flipping turnovers.
Florida State rushed for 1,079 yards last year.
So only got to go up by 2 bills.
Yeah. 2016, they ran for 2,630, and in 2013 they rushed for 2,644 net.
Are those the most ever?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of recent seasons where we think about either a great offense or like a really talented running back, and they did. I mean, they gained over 3,000 yards, but with the negative runs too, not just sacks, but negative runs from those same running backs. They didn't even hit 2,700 yards. So 3,000 would be astronomical. So I don't know, make it 2,800. Probably that would.
How about just 2,300?
Okay, right.
2,300's almost 200 a game. If you're sniffing 200 yards a game, I'm rushing. You're having a good season.
Okay, this probably might cut into some of our over-under thoughts, but our guy Tennisump, last one, what sort of production do we need out of Tommy to be in the game in the fourth quarter? I'm thinking if he has around 300 total yards, let's say 225 in the air, 75 rushing, that works. Thoughts? Thanks as always for all you do. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for your question. Yeah, man, they're definitely in the game if he has 300 yards in the fourth quarter. My opinion.
Yeah. What's the weather looking like?
I don't know. Ira saw.
I feel like the chances are going down a little bit, maybe, of having bad weather.
When we were out there on Thursday afternoon, he looked it up, and it seemed like there might be some earlier showers and then showers later on the day, so there might be like a good significant window to get the game in. Not that they're going to cancel the game, but like the game might be played in fair conditions.
I just don't want lightning delays. We just don't want lightning delays. That's all. Yeah. If it's rains, enjoy it, folks. It's better than it be 102. Enjoy the rain. Let it soak all over you. Just, man, the lightning would be a flipping bummer. We just don't want that. So, I would say, I don't know if man, 0 turnovers is a big deal. If he's somewhere around there, 0 or 1, that would be nice. Look, man, I think that he's going to have to run. I think that's why he's here. I think that's part of the plan. And I think that, he said the fourth quarter or the third quarter.
What production do we need out of Tommy to be in the game in the fourth quarter?
Okay, so I guess he's talking about the whole. Yeah, I think anywhere from anywhere around 250 to 300 total yards, and also some scores. That helps too. Yeah. You don't need to be settling for field goals. You need to get in the end zone. But I think that if he can get you 300 yards and all your running backs combined can get you another 100. You've got a chance, man. 400 yards is a good day against an Alabama defense. Probably a day that would be better than any of us think would happen. But you never know what they're going to be like in the first game. They have some dudes out or banged up or maybe a little slowed, still recovering from injury, and they're facing an offense that I think it could be a bear to prepare for in game one. It's a whole new collection of dudes. They're getting coached by a guy that is very, very good at this, and they go fast. And that's another. If you're going fast, and Alabama can't sub, and you keep going fast, and you have a running game that can get 6 yards here, 4 yards there, and the quarterback can spit out for 20. That's hard. That can be hard to defend. It can be over. I'm not saying this offense is going to be overwhelming. Gus Malzahn has had offenses that have just overwhelmed opponents if they weren't quite prepared for it. So maybe that happens. But yeah, 300 is a good somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 yards seems like a good number.
Do we have any good memories from rainy games? We met somebody who said their first game was Bowden's last game. They were a 2-year-old. They don't remember it, but they remember it raining or something like that.
What?
So
What? Say that again.
We met somebody.
They were at Bowden's last game?
Yeah.
And now they're a student at Florida State?
Correct.
Sweet Moses. Yeah, how old?
Yeah,
how old am I?
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
That's crazy. That seems like it was a couple of days ago, and it was 16 years ago. And now there's somebody that was at that game as a 2-year-old that doesn't remember that's now at Florida State. That's nuts.
So
yeah, that was but that was rainy in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it rained much during that game.
Yeah. Second half sun came out. Bobby and the good guys ended up pulling away. But I just think of 2003 Miami, 2006 Wake Forest, Mike's first game, 2020 against Georgia Tech, which the weather wasn't that bad, but there actually was that lightning delay. Listen, ACC championship game was pretty gross, but they ended up winning that game.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
Maybe that's a good.
You got to enjoy that for about 90 minutes. That was a good one. Yeah, they kind of rained a lot of the day, right?
Yeah.
A lot of that game was rain, so that's a good one. That's a good memory. Last good memory around these parts until Saturday.
What about you? Was it an LSU game or a Pitt game when you were a kid that was just like a deluge?
Yeah, that was a Pitt game. There were a few of them, man. It's crazy. They didn't have lightning detectors back then, and like
and everybody lived. Everybody lived.
Somehow. But it would rain so much. I remember a Florida game. The first football game I ever went to, I think, was the Gator Bowl in '82. And that was a deluge. At some point in that game, I remember being soaked to the core as a 7-year-old. And then I remember being at Florida at 86 maybe? 86 or 84, I think 86. And the water is just like a waterfall coming down the aisles. Like literally it sounded like a whitewater rapid. That's how much it was going down the aisles. And they lost that one. But yeah, they used to have those games. It seemed like once a year, and then now because of the lightning detectors, they don't even start the games like that. But Pitt was another good one. In 80 and 82, it had a deluge. Let's hope we don't have that on Saturday, buddy.
You folks know all about Ridge. They make those awesome wallets that come with a lifetime warranty. They make luggage premium everyday gear. Do you also know they're crazy? They're doing their 5th annual giveaway. 2 lucky winners will get to choose between a Lamborghini Huracan Storado that retails for $280,000, a Hennessy Velociraptor, which retails for about $100,000, or $100,000 in cash. 2 lucky winners get to choose from that. There's only 1,500 Lamborghinis like that are in existence. Can you believe that? Ridge is going to give you the chance to win one. You just got to go to ridge.com. You can enter for free. For real. Enter completely for free over at ridge.com. And if you want to boost your odds, every dollar you spend on Ridge's site gets you an additional entry. So get a wallet, get a key case, get a ring, get some luggage, treat yourself, and go over to ridge.com/wakeup, and you'll get 10% off your order and a chance to win Ridge's biggest sweepstakes ever. Again, a Lamborghini Huracan Storado, a Hennessy Velociraptor, or $100,000 in cash. No purchase necessary. But every dollar you spend gets you more entries. That's ridge.com. Use Wake Up. After your purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Let them know the Wake Up Warchant podcast. We're back. It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy. VitaminEnergy.com. Warchant BOGO, the promo code. Buy one, get one free. Let's get to it, Corey. Over-unders. Going to need 6 of them from you, big dog, for this Alabama-Florida State clash. We'll have the link available on the Tribal Council. We'll probably tweet it out, too, for everybody to be able to jump in there and get involved. And yeah, $20 or $25 gift card to Garden Gold be up for grabs. I'm gonna throw Jake Weinberg over under okay, like 46.5 yards, or is that too big of a number for his longest field goal? Yeah, attempt.
You said 46.5.
Yeah.
Oh, his longest attempt.
Yeah.
Longest
make? You want to do longest make?
No, I like longest attempt. Let's not put too much pressure on the kid. I would put it at like 50.5.
Ooh.
Or 40. Make it 49.5. I think they would.
Okay.
They would have no problems with him coming out there for anything from like 50 to 58 if it's depending on the situation and not feeling like you need to go for it or punt him deep or something.
Okay.
So I think 49. If it's 4th and 4 at the 35.
Yeah.
Or 4th and 8 at the Alabama 35 in the second quarter, I think legitimately they're running him out there to try to kick it.
Okay. Yeah, don't give me anything too exotic that I can't look up immediately after the game. That's all I ask.
Oh, right.
Or like PFF.
Times they show
right.
Mike Norvell on the sideline or something.
Yeah, or where the spear lands when Osceola plants it.
Or how many times the DJ plays Ski Yee. Let's see. I would say, how about let's do
Tommy rushing yards, right? Come on, you gotta do Tommy rushing.
Yeah,
yards.
let's do that. Let's put the over/under on that at. Let's put it at 59.5.
Okay. All right. You want to do Deuce Robinson or Squirrel White, like longest reception, or just team longest reception?
Yeah, do team longest reception. Okay. That's a good one.
Okay.
Over under like 44.5?
Okay.
No, everybody's going to put the under there. I want to get it on both sides. So let's do 39.5.
Okay.
They could hit a 40-yarder easily.
Yeah. Piece of cake. Usman Chroma carries?
Yeah, let's say touches.
Okay. So receptions, touches.
Yeah, receptions and rushes. Let's say over under 11.5.
Ooh. All right, I think I'd probably take the under on that.
Hey man, don't give away stuff.
Defense? Do you want to? I guess maybe like Alabama rushing yards or Ty Simpson passing yards. That kind of indicates how the defense, I guess, maybe does.
How about sacks?
Okay, I can do sacks.
Over under 2.5.
I would hammer the over.
Then do 3.5.
Okay, 3.5.
Make it 3.5. 4 sacks is a good day now.
That is. It's a really good day. I mean, you brought a guy.
Yeah, but also you got a lot of exotic blitzes. Yeah. You should confuse them a couple times and get some sacks. So yeah, 3.5 is a better number.
Okay. And I don't know. We got one final one. We don't have old Alex Mastermano to bail us out with a long punt.
Yeah, that's true. Hey man, old Max got a leg too.
Like Elijah Herring tackles or highest linebacker total tackles. Everybody loves linebackers.
Let's do. How about starting linebackers tackles combined? So that's Cryer, Herring, and Omar Graham.
Whoever ends up, that's the depth chart. But whoever ends up getting the star in the participation report. Starters at linebacker total tackles. Okay.
So let's put that at 23.5.
Okay. There we go.
What sucks about that is they might combine for a tackle, and that counts as 2 tackles. Although it was only 1 tackle in the game. Right. They each get their own tackle. But, let's put – you're right. So that's fine. What did I say, 22.5?
23.5.
23.5 is perfect, yeah.
All right, there's your over-unders, everybody. Get involved. Longest kick attempt for Jake Weinberg, 49.5 yards. Tommy rushing yards, 59.5. Longest team reception, 39.5. Chroma touches 11.5. Sacks, 3.5. Total tackles combined from the starting linebacking core, 23.5. We're giving away free money, quite literally, over at warchant.com. Get involved. Click on the link. It's a Google sheet. That way it helps to organize it so I don't have to sit here and grade like I used. Like, dude, 2-3 years ago, Corey, I literally would grade this like I was a school teacher. I would scroll. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, let me line this up. It was ridiculous. So we got figured out. It works for me. It should work for you. We're giving you free stuff. Get involved. Meet and greet Saturday, Hotel Indigo, 12 to 2:30. The live show, pregame show with Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang starts at 12:30 at Hotel Indigo. The postgame show goes on 10 to 15 minutes live on YouTube afterwards with Gene Williams and Tom Lang. Warchant Rap, presented by Vitamin Energy, with Irish O'Fell and Corey Clark. Live game thread. We'll be tweeting
what
stuff.
What if, Aslan, we were wondering about what I would do if they won. Like, what do I do on the Warchant Rap? What if I ate a Tide Pod? Didn't kids used to do that back a few years ago?
Yeah, I don't think.
And they all lived?
I don't think you want to do that, though. Yeah.
Oh, Stephanie just said not all of them did live. Okay, so we'll do something else. Back to the drawing board, everyone. I apologize.
Let us know. Feedback at warchant.com. All right, that's a wrap for us. We met our score predictions over on the Warchant Report powered by Cummins. Go shuffle over there and give that a listen to and find out what our predictions were for the game. We can't wait to talk to you folks again on Monday. I think I'm hoping, Corey, right?
Yep, I'm hopeful. Hopeful. I'm hopeful that there's something to build on. No matter what, there's something to build on, something to feel good about.
Or just give me more answers than I just don't want to have as many questions or even more questions leaving that game. That's all I'm going to ask.
And you know what it is? Is like last year that opener really didn't answer anything. It was the next game that answered it, but it was such a weird game because each team had the ball 6 times. You did have 4 scoring drives technically, but 2 of them were like 58 or 60-yard field goals. But you only had the ball 6 times, really, 6 or 7 times total. The defense couldn't get off the field, but you only held them to 24 points. Like it was, you couldn't make any real evaluations off that weird game because of the number of possessions. Hopefully, this one will at least have 10 or 11 each, and you'll be able to make more real possessions about what this team can be, or real predictions about what this team can be, and then also knowing that they will get better, and they'll have 3 weeks until they play Virginia.
Amen. 3:30 ABC Saturday, number 8 Alabama at Florida State. We'll talk about it next time we all hang out. We should see you hopefully before then and along the internet over at warchant.com. He's Corey. I'm Aslan. Thanks for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com, Warchant BOGO. Buy one, get one free.